Welcome back, Tarot fam. So I have to apologize. I know that this playlist is a little bit jumbled up. I did several chapters in several groups. So pay attention to the heading, the title, and the description of the video. Don't listen to what I say at the beginning. Listen to the rest of the stuff I say, but not the beginning. If I say it's part 3, it might be part 4. This should be part 6 for you. So it should be the 6th video. We are now on chapter 14. Chapter 14 is 6 weeks postpartum from having their second child, Jaden. And we're at Kevin's album release party, which he has advised that his wife is not going to, yet her family is there and his family's there, and he is nursing a rum and coke. He had already shot his first video that was in Las Vegas. And this is his jumbled up emotions. He's excited, he's nervous, he's all the things. And Britney was not planning on going out. She said she was going to stay home with the kids. Preston was just a little over a year, and Jaden had just turned 6 weeks. He understood. Did he actually want Britney there? I'm bringing up the card view. Hit the like button, you crazy tarot maniacs. You crazy tarot maniacs. Let's giddy up, buttercups. So did he actually want her there? He had a jam-packed schedule that day. He was just seeing all the famous people. Ryan Seacrest. He was promoting Ryan's Halloween show. 10 of Pentacles. He wanted her at home like a good mother. Didn't care if she was upset. I think she was upset. Was Britney upset? Did she want to go? King of Cups. 8 of Cups. She was cast out. Judgment. Against her better judgment, she went. She was worried about what? What did she think he was going to be up to? Getting it on. Bang a gong. Knight of Swords. Talking smack. Being stupid. And not having a temperate attitude. So I think she was pissed that he was going to party. And I think she was going to get a freak on. Not like that. Not like that. So what he says is everybody's having a great time. He's got his family in VIP section. Everybody's dancing. He somehow still has his boys and his crew, his security team with him. And he encounters Jamie Spears, Britney's dad, again, who had just gotten out of rehab. And it just gets better. And he motions to Kevin to come over and says, she's here. It's not good. So he was surprised because he heard that Britney decided for Britney that she wasn't going. So, and there's Britney, her brother, Brian, Jason Trawick, her agent at the time, and an actress who is about to blow up from a role that would transform her life. So I tried to figure out who this is. I tried to connect some dots here. And so I did check this out. The only thing that I could come up, 3 actresses that were approximately the same age as Britney: Sienna Miller, Andrea Riseborough, and Emily Blunt. But I don't think any of them really have a reputation for hard partying, except for Sienna Miller. So I don't know. I'm not saying it's any of them. They were just, when I looked up in ChatGPT and I said, what actresses had a role that blew up their career in 2006 into 2007. And those were the 3 that I came up with. To be sure, there are no speculations on which actresses these are. But let's see. Did we get it right? Is she in the list? Is she in that list? 8 of Pentacles. I'm going to say no. I don't know if anybody is in that list. I'm not going to speculate any further. But so apparently Britney came in and was railing on the table, if you know what I mean, and was doing it with this other actress. And Kevin's first thought was, and they had wigs on. So again, I'm thinking maybe Bachelorette number one might be somebody that we're looking at here. I was stunned, not because of the substances. I've never been one to judge anyone for partying or letting loose. But seeing her there like that at my album release party just felt wrong. I wasn't even really tripping about the powdery white substance. I already knew she had done it before, along with a whole bunch else, throwing her under a bus. Throwing her under a bus. Birds of a feather flock together, Kevin. So, was he mad that she was there? Or was he mad that she was partying? Mad that she was there? Mad that she was partying? Both. These are yeses for both. He didn't want her there. Did he intend to capitalize on his album release party while he was nursing a rum and coke like he was at his uncle's wedding? Yep. He had some ideas about where he was going to be putting it that night. I think he might have had some sleazy groupies hanging around, or was hoping that there were some sleazy groupies hanging around. So I think he was certainly into that. Was there any kind of responsibility that he really felt about the mother of his children being out there? Was there anything that was good and wholesome and genuine about her? Was he just trying not to get busted? No, he was just trying not to get busted and be a big man with a big rod. Big man with a big rod. That's what he wanted. So Britney, he leans over and tells her, I don't want you breastfeeding the kids. You've been drinking, you've been substancing. I don't want you breastfeeding the kids. And at that point, Britney blows up and throws her vodka cranberry right in his face. He was wearing all white. Because why wouldn't he be wearing all white? Because he is just so wonderful. Did he tell her to get out? I don't think he told her to get out, but I think he said, you don't belong here. This is my gig and you're overshadowing me. Did he say that? I'm the big guy in the room. There's no room for two of us. You're wrecking my scene here. Did Britney throw her drink in his face because of that? Because would he have been there? Yes, she was decided on the breakup. She was decided. He claims she tried to give him a hug. Did she? I think she was trying to be polite. Unbelievable. So Kevin refuses to perform. The Black Eyed Peas perform. Did he not perform because he was substancing? What was the reason for Kevin not performing? He'd had a bit too much, kids. Didn't have the chops. Once upon a time, I knew an amazing drummer, and he could play. He could be falling down when he got off that kit, but when he got behind the kit, it didn't matter how drunk he was. He would play like a maniac. He was unbelievable. Really, some wild talent there. Amazing talent. So I'm trying to play it cool, but in my head, it's just this loop. We don't give the kids formula. You breastfeed them. Are you seriously going to go home and feed them like you don't have a body full of substances? And so he said, I'd seen it before, her drinking and breastfeeding. And it was really upsetting because of the danger of the kids. Well, why didn't he do anything before? Why wasn't this addressed before, Kevin? Why did you allow your wife to drink and breastfeed? He didn't care. He didn't care. He wasn't looking out for her. He wasn't looking out for anybody. Who was he looking out for? Oh, he was looking out for himself. Three of Pentacles. This is a guy who, I'm doing it, and I don't care if anybody else is doing it, but I'm going to pick my moment. I'm going to shoot my shot when it suits me best. Was he just trying to create a ruckus and get her out of there? Absolutely. And he was going to use all that information about her to do it. Now, I'm not saying Britney doesn't have problems. I'm not saying Britney is totally unresponsible. Or she's not. I'm not giving her a pass. I'm not giving her a pass. How was Britney feeling on this night? The record release night. Initially. The devil. I'm not allowed to be a part of something that I put together. Kevin's stupid music career. Popo Zao. So I wasn't allowed to be a part of that. And I just get stuck at home and I'm sad. And so what do? I'm going to pretty myself up and I'm going to go anyway, even if I'm not invited. Why? She was in a funk. That sad squirrel in this deck is bratty teenager, bratty toddler, throwing a temper tantrum. That's why she went. Could have been very much better handled. What would have been an ideal handling for this situation? What could Kevin Federline have done? If Kevin had only gone to the police, this would have never have happened. He could have played this a lot softer. He could have said, baby, I want to be a man on my own 2 feet. I want this to emerge. I want to be the guy who can get things done. And, sometimes you'll be in the front and sometimes I'll be in the front. That's how it goes. Sometimes you're on top. Sometimes he's on the bottom. Here, I want to do this on my own. I don't want anybody to say that Britney Spears put me here. I want my star to rise. If people don't like me, then it's all on me. And I really want to carve out a world outside of you, or at least a career outside of her. So, looking for that. I can give him a little bit of respect for that, kids. A little bit of respect. So as the night unfolds, he laments that they could have pumped milk for Jaden. She didn't have any. There was nothing ready. So they had, she throws the drink on him and storms off. And she leaves and he gets a call. He calls her mom, who is back with the kids, and says, don't let Britney breastfeed. She's been drinking and doing substances. And the mom says that Britney was gone most of the day and that Jaden hadn't eaten for hours. I had a 6-week-old. My 6-week-old was literally attached to me for weeks. When you're breastfeeding, you are constantly breastfeeding. If you're not, you're doing it wrong. This child, so Britney had been gone most of the day and Jaden hadn't eaten for hours. So if she was gone for most of the day, this math is not mathing. That is not hours. That is a lot of hours. And that child that 6-week-old would have been screaming. So I don't believe that they didn't have formula in the house. I don't believe that they didn't have breast milk. Did they have formula? Were they formula feeding those babies? They were chubby babies. They were formula feeding them already. Kevin worried about the formula. He probably didn't even know what was in the pantry. Oh my goodness. And then he goes on that switching from breast milk to formula is not an overnight thing. Sometimes it has to be. Maybe this was the moment that it had to be for him. He didn't care about the drink in the face. He didn't care that she was doing substances. I cared about my kids. Did he? Did he care about his kids or did he care about something else? What was he caring about in that moment? Causing this ruckus, bringing Britney's family into it, vilifying her more to her family. What was his main objective? Judgment. He wanted everybody judging her. Happy home. Queen of Wands. He wanted them to take over. Devil in reverse. Three of Swords. So that bad moment could go away. He wanted to be seen as the good guy so he could do whatever he needed to do for the next couple of hours before he had to go home and play daddy. Play daddy. Play daddy. You play daddy, big boy. I'm trying not to be judgmental. So this was the final straw, the breastfeeding thing. So that's what ended us. This is what ended them. Brittany's mom calls and says, Kevin, Brittany kicked me out of the house. She had security escort me off the property. And he's sitting there still at the after hours place. At this point, he's at the after hours party. Went from the release party to the after hours party. And they were supposed to leave for New York. They were going to do promos for Hot 97, TRL, Webster Hall. It was all set. His album had just dropped. This was the trip. All I could think about going home and what hell was back there. So he goes to the Roosevelt Hotel, famous Roosevelt Hotel. Marilyn Monroe stayed there. Lots of other golden age celebrities. It's a beautiful place, home of the haunted Marilyn Monroe mirror. So he goes back there. The kids were supposed to come over. They were all going to go to New York the next day. None of it happened. When he got to the Roosevelt, let's just see, was Kevin on his own? Kevin on his own, or do you have Miss Mary Jane? Party was still going, guys. Ace of Wands, Ace of Swords, Four of Wands, didn't want to go home, Moon in reverse. I'm going to say there was a little bit, there's a party going on right here. I think the party went over to the Roosevelt. So I think this was like an all night. He wanted to be a rock star. Yet he claims in this book that all he was doing is frantically trying to get formula over to his house. Call Pink Dot. Where are my LA people at? Call Pink Dot. The Pink Dot was a thing in 2006. So those of you that aren't from LA, Pink Dot was this delivery service that was kind of like the primordial Uber Eats. Like you could call Pink Dot and they would come in these little, they were pink Volkswagen bugs and they would come and they'd bring you like Chubby Hubby ice cream, pack of cigarettes and pack of rolling papers. Like it's really great. Great service. Great service. Call Pink Dot. Call Pink Dot. So was he really calling about the formula? No, this was a cover. This was a cover. He was covering up for what he was doing over there. No one was listening to him. No one was doing that. And he said that, she was just cutting people off. Like when she got rid of her longtime assistant, Felicia, that was the one that was really nice to K-Fed on the tour. She's also in the Chaotic reality show, and Candor manager, Larry Rudolph. She was done hearing no from me. How is he saying no to her anytime? So he calls Mark Kaplan and has a letter drafted. Remember, this is his attorney that Brittany's paying for. Has a letter drafted forbidding her to breastfeed her children. Fact? Yep. Yeah. This and did he mean it? I don't think he meant it. I think he was mad at the moment and he wanted to secure his bag. Nine of Pentacles is about securing your bag, securing your destination where you're going. So that's what he's doing. Oh my goodness. How did Brittany feel when she got that thing? What, Tarot, tell us the truth. What is going on? How did she feel when she got that stupid letter? Knight of Wands, incandescent with rage. Eight of Pentacles, Five of Cups, disappointed. Seven of Pentacles, what did I ever see in this bozo? Nine of Cups, I know I'm doing the right thing by my kids. And Seven of Cups, what are my options moving forward? So that was her reaction to that. So I do think she lawyered up. So For me, it went well beyond one act. It was about trust. How could I trust her not to do worse behind my back? Throwing drinks, snorting substances, kicking her mom out of the house. It was like the floodgates had opened and I couldn't close them. I couldn't unsee the possibility that my kids were in danger. Mark drafted the letter that day. It wasn't a divorce filing yet, but it was a line in the sand. When he got to New York, everything was a blur. Why was everything a blur, Kevin? He wasn't in the right state of mind to deal with anything. So, was it the trouble at home, or was it Kevin being completely out of his depth professionally and stressing out and being an irk J to his wife? Ace of Swords, new beginnings, Knight of Cups. He wanted that success really, really well, but Hierophant, Three of Cups. He was partying too much. Moon in reverse, it was obvious. And here, he was locked down with nobody going to give him a chance on this stupid, stupid album. Not a good performer. Just not what he was doing. He says he smiled for the camera, shook hands, did the interviews, but inside, I was wrecked. Every second I wasn't on stage or on air, I was thinking about her, the boys, and what the hell was happening to my family. Were you now, Kevin? See what the tarot says. Kevin, in fact, only thinking about his family. Ace of Cups, Queen of Cups, Knight of Swords, Four of Cups in reverse, Judgment in reverse, and the King of Swords. He was trying to get a restart. That Ace of Cups is, baby, we just had a fight. Let's get this back together. Let's get things back together. We don't have to fight. We don't have to fight. It doesn't have to be over. Don't say it's over. So, yeah, I think he was trying to salvage his bag in that moment. You know, whatever failure of performance, he could have totally done that. He couldn't even bring himself to pick up her call. She left voicemails, apologies, explanations. Couldn't listen to him. Did she? Did she now? Did Britney apologize? Oh, no. I believe that is a lie. I don't think that was true. I think he's saying it now. She was trying to fix things and he was shutting her out. So if he's thinking, again, the math is not mathing. If he's thinking about his wife and his kids and what the hell is going on at home, why isn't he picking up the call to try and fix what's going on at home? Doesn't math. The math is not mathing. So the breastfeeding was a symptom. This was part of a much greater pattern. Who wrote this? The recklessness, the lack of accountability. Accountability is a word that Jamie Lynn has used with her as well. Let's talk about accountability. Is this a hot trigger word in the family, demanding that Britney take accountability when she has been held accountable for all the nonsense for everybody else? I'm so angry, guys. So angry. Annabelle showed up. I'm so angry. I'm so angry. I'm going to freak out. So accountability. What is the word accountability? What is the problem with this word in Britney's life? Justice. Seven of Wands. Page of Swords. This, guys, is what they use. This is what they use. This is a word that spins her out. Oh, I'm like from Little Nicky. I'm like the brother in Little Nicky. I'm snapping my fingers. Get over here, Nicky. I'm going to make you uglier than you are. So, this is the word because there's nothing for her to be accountable for. And they keep saying accountability, accountability. It's like asking me a question that I don't have an answer to. She doesn't have an answer to this. She can't say, I'm taking accountability. She's been accountable for everybody in the family. Her father took $1 million loan, even though she made like $60 million one year. What in the world? What is going on with this? It is nonsense. So accountability, they want her to change. They don't give her options. And there is no directive. There's no destination. There's no goal. There's nothing involved. So they keep dropping this word accountability. I guarantee you, if she read this book, the minute she hits that word accountability, she goes and freaks out. So people around Britney like to say it's her world and we're just living in it. For a while, I believed that. I believed we could make it work and that love would be enough to fix the issues. But love doesn't mean anything if there's no trust. So let me go back a page. Oop, I got to pause. So here we're still in the same chapter, chapter 14. What shook me the most was realizing how fragile everything was. How fragile. Did Kevin even understand that Britney was fragile? What was he thinking about Britney? Oh, he failed at what he did, and now he wanted his mommy back. There's that bratty, sad squirrel. His little fun time was ending. His fun time as a celebrity boy toy was ending. So he was going to use this motherhood thing with her. I need you to take care of me. I'll take care of you. You take care of me. But up here, bratty, bratty, bratty. He's sorry that I think he really thought that his opportunity to be a rap superstar. You want to be a rap superstar? Name that song if you guys know it. So same era, same era. So you want to be a rap superstar? I think that he really saw his world crashing around him, and that was alarming. And that his career was going to be taken away from him because without being Britney Spears, being Mr. Britney Spears, what are you going to be, Kevin? So you're going to be bratty. I bet your credit cards got shut off. Did she shut his credit cards off that day? Did she shut his credit cards off that day? Because it's not much longer. He finds out that she filed. There's a brand new start for. Oh, that's too bad. So sad. Yeah, I think his credit cards got shut off that day. So everything, the marriage, the family, everything starts to fall apart. This was the end. Great movie. This is the end. After New York, he went to Toronto. He was at Canadian MTV. Much Music. I'm sorry, not Canadian MTV. Much Music. Sorry, guys. And blah, blah, blah. What else? He thought he'd thrive on the energy, but he didn't. He was dragging. Why was he dragging? Why was he dragging there? Was it because of the partying? You got to train for that when you're young, Empress, he wasn't taking care of himself. Two of Cups, he was busy. Bang a gong, get it on. Bang a gong. So get through another day. Just focus. When he got to the studio at Much Music, right before he went live on air, Kevin, how do you feel about Britney filing for divorce? Did he really not know? Did he really not know? He knew. Oh, you knew. You knew. I'll be Bobby Fleckman for a minute. Bobby Fleckman. Where's my photographer? Where's Christine? Name that movie, guys. Yeah, Bobby Fleckman. I do that voice so well. I have to be Bobby Fleckman for Halloween. So he did know. Did he just think that they were just going to ignore it, that the industry was going to ignore it? He knew something was coming, and he was going to say, oh, I love my wife, man. I love my wife. I take good care of her. She's not going to throw me out. No. Biggest fear, being broke. That is too bad. Kevin Federline. So how did that interview go? How was Kevin during that interview? Let's see. He had no idea. He says, yeah, I sent that letter to the lawyer about the breastfeeding thing, but divorce. And now I'm trying to privately process this on TV. I'm gonna have to watch that. Chariot. His money train is running out. 8 of Wands. He called his lawyer right the minute he got off. He was like, I got nothing. I don't even know how I'm getting home. Oh, you reap what you sow, baby boy. Reap what you sow. He thinks he said, yeah, I'm still processing everything, or it's a private matter. The second the interview was over, he ran and called his lawyer. Is this true? Is she filing for divorce? Press had already gotten a hold of it, and it pulled the rug right out under him. So it's a full week. This is all in a week since the record release party, his big record release party. She is now filed for divorce. He's trying to do all kinds of crazy things. And in that single week, he allegedly went from trying to fix his marriage to scrambling to figure out how to protect myself in that divorce. So let's see if that is really what was going on that week in Kevin's mind. When he started out that week, what was the top billing? Oh, I am going to make my mark. He was upset about a few things. He was trying to pull away from her. As the week progressed, he was hopeful that he was going to be a big man on campus and that all the ladies were going to love him and all the rappers were going to come running. 7 of Cups, the world is my oyster. Filing for divorce, judgment in reverse. Now this is where he says Britney's out of her mind. Britney's out of her mind. She doesn't need to divorce me. She just needs to cozy up and not fight with me so much and just do what I say. Just do what I say. Give me all the things. Give me all the things that I need. I want the things that I need. So, messy, ugly chapter. Let's go into chapter 15 on this one, guys. We'll go a little bit into chapter 15. So he storms off. Things aren't perfect. Honeymoon phase is over. I think he's still thinking that he can do some things. We're at a stalemate, but he's hoping that smarter and wiser that they can kind of continue. Lonnie is still working for him, as is Big Mike. I'm sorry, I don't think Lonnie is still working for him. Oh, good Lord. Good Lord. Defiance was her favorite gear. Was it? Was it Britney's favorite gear? Yeah. How about his? Yeah. So you got same. So he was a wreck. He felt lost, betrayed, broke. The door slammed shut the second she filed. So that means his career just kind of ended. The world was falling apart. He had a schedule to keep, interviews to go, but the door slammed shut. He hadn't seen his kids. His focus shifted. He knew he had to stay in their lives. Oh, unlike the other kids who, like, he wasn't even there for the delivery of Caleb. He was furious that Britney didn't even think about how it would affect me. Oh, come on, Kevin. All he wants to do is hold them, make sure they were okay, but he still had commitments to fulfill. We'll find out that this whole fiasco with the album cost him like $500,000. So he was bombarded about how far gone everything went. He was getting late night calls from her drunk with the sound of his kids crying in the background. Is that true? Because he says that twice in this book. Was he getting calls from her with kids crying in the background? I'm going to be fair here. Was he getting calls with her drunk? Lovers in reverse. 3 of Wands. Maybe. That's a maybe. She might have been drinking. I'm just going to say. Were the kids crying? Queen of Swords. I think he was hearing the kids in the background. And, Remember, Jaden is 6 weeks old. The week has passed. He's now 7 weeks old. Babies cry. Anybody here who's had a baby knows they cry. Ella cried for 4 days straight once, and it was the worst thing I've ever experienced. I was hallucinating 4 days straight, not a wink of sleep. It was terrible. She felt terrible. I felt terrible. So he does relay this one night, and this is in the press. He was in Miami for work. Just letting you know, there's no timetable on this one. And I got a call. It was her, Paris Hilton, and Lindsay Lohan on the line, drunk as hell, begging me to come over. I could hear Preston and Jaden crying in the background. It had to be 3 or 4 in the morning. Is that true? There were tabloid photos of it. He could very easily say that they were out girling it up. Is this story true? Did the witches of Eastwick call him and make a big deal? 8 of Wands. I think they did. I think they did call him. They probably called him and said, "You're an asshole. You're an asshole." So were the kids crying in the background? Justice, 2 of Swords, Page of Pentacles. I don't think so. I don't think so. From these cards, I don't think the kids were crying in the background. She was like in a 20,000 square foot house. They could be having a gay old time. He says that's the night that everything died for him. Was it the pictures, the tabloid pictures that killed it for him? Yes. He was mad that she was out hanging out with Paris Hilton and Lindsay Lohan. It was all too much as his career is crashing and burning around him. He wanted some of that. He wanted some of it, and he wasn't getting any of it. He wasn't making any friends. He backed the wrong horses. He backed the wrong people. He says that it was repeated. She was calling drunk. He could hear the kids crying. It was all the motivation he needed to stay the course, really. He finishes up his press tour on the East Coast, wraps up in Miami, and flies back to Los Angeles. It was now a month since she filed for divorce. It's now a month. He didn't know where she was, and his stuff was all at the house. He couldn't go back and get it. Everything had to go through lawyers. Nothing was easy. Even though she was in LA, she wouldn't let him see his sons. True? Is that true? No, I don't think she would. I don't blame her. I don't blame her. He could only see them online or in the tabloids. He's living out of a hotel. Was Britney paying for the hotel? No. I bet his lawyer was. He found a house in Tarzana, not deluxe. It wasn't much. Temporary spot while he searched for something more permanent. But it was big enough for him and the boys. He was getting toys and cribs and formula and all that. It took months before he could see them. Jaden was 6 weeks old when all this started, and Preston was barely over a year. They were babies. I was stuck outside the house. Remember hearing stories about her partying till 5 a.m. You married a pop star. What were you thinking? What did you think was going to happen? He hadn't seen his boys in maybe 2 or 3 months, and he got to see them for a couple of hours. And Britney was there watching every move he made. It wasn't enough. It never was. So first few months was brutal. I had to fight for visitation rights. I had no idea what I was doing. They needed to be on formula. He was demanding that. Was that just like a bullshit thing? Yeah. He just kept belaboring that point. They need to be on formula. She's on something. She's on something. Which is, I'm going to say it. I think it's a really good way to get the to get the courts to kind of listen to you. I think it's a really good way to do that. So he says he was making them a great home, trying to give them a good spot. The place in Tarzana was the fight to get her to furnish a fabulous palatial estate for them. Was he mad about having to leave the other house? Yep, he was trying to secure his bag, place that he loves. He wasn't going to be not kept in the manner he was accustomed to. If he couldn't live in the big house, in the big pink palace with Britney, he was going to blow it up for everybody. That's what he was going to do. So he goes on and talks about his family, about how his family is such a great example of split lives. All he wants to do, that's the thing about love. It never disappears, even when it's over. Blah, 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 blah. It's all about love. He had a nice cushy gig and he blew it. Just saying. So we do go into an intervention, and I'm sorry that this is going to be a little bit longer of a installment than I thought. So he gets a call from Britney's mother, and they are all going over to the Beverly Hills Hotel, and there's an intervention, and they asked him to pick up the babies, Preston and Jaden. And they needed him to take the boys because they didn't know what was going to happen at this intervention. He got to the hotel, and they were all in the same suite from the first night that Kevin and Britney met. Nothing was peaceful. There was a somber energy, like everyone was bracing for something. Her family had already started talking to her, convincing her to go to rehab. I wasn't part of the initial conversation, but when I walked in, I could see how serious everything was. She'd been crying, and everyone around the room looked worn down, like this had been building for a long time. Wasn't angry or confrontational. There was love in that room, but it was shadowed by fear that she wouldn't agree to get help, or fear of what might happen if she didn't. He claims that she was nice when he came to take the boys, and he said she was crying, and I could see she was scared of losing everything, that her life was slipping out of control. I tried to reassure her. It's okay, I told her. I'm not taking the kids away from you. This is the best thing you can do now. I'll bring the boys to see you. Just tell me when, and we'll make it happen. I meant it. Did he? Did he mean that? I want to say, yeah, he did. He did. That was a promise that he really was going to keep. He did not want her to feel like she was losing her babies forever. Did he think that this was an opportunity to cash in a little bit more? Fresh new start, sad squirrel. I'm going to give him a little pass here. I do think, that King of Pentacles shows up. I do think that he was being generous with her in the moment, because I do think he was seeing how fragile she was. But I also think that he was doing the math. This is worth a little bit more. So her lawyers tried to say that it was just Adderall, and it was an issue with the Adderall, which is the thing as well. Was it indeed just Adderall? I think it was the Adderall. I don't think I don't know what happens if you drink alcohol on Adderall, but I think the Adderall was creating an issue for her. And that means that someone was not monitoring how she was dealing with her own, legitimately prescribed prescriptions. So Kevin, as he drives away, realizes with his 2 sons, with his 2 bags of money, that was mean, but I said it. He realizes that love isn't everything. He doesn't know what he's doing. And sometimes you have to let them go so they can go help themselves. This is kind of the moment where I think he says, I'm going to become a single dad. And I think this is the moment where we are going to end this particular installment. My throat is sore from my sinus infection, but I want to get some installments out to you guys this week because it's Halloween week and I got a lot of bookings as well. So if you like your own magical reading, I still have a few spots left. You can book at the link down below. I will see you guys in the next one.